Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Last Son. This is Journey Through the Cornellverse, and today we're going to take a look at Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling. Dave's demise in April 2007 hit many people hard, but it was far from unexpected. There had been signs of their coming closure for years in advance. Mitch Ness, Bill Vibert's protege, and longtime voice of Dave, therefore had a lot of time to plan ahead in case the worst did happen. And that is how Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling came to be. The concept was simple. Start again and repeat the formula that had worked the first time around, but to avoid the traps that Dave fell into. Ness, aided by a number of Dave alumni, thus began the mission to try and succeed where Dave failed, to complete the hardcore revolution. You are a small company, you have $125,000 in the bank, you're based in the tri-state area. Take a look at your size. In the US, tri-state you're at 42, New England 25, 16 in Great Lakes and Mid-Atlantic, 8 in the Southeast, 6 in Puerto Rico, and 3 in the rest of the regions of the US. Canada, you range from 8 to 3. Mexico, you're 2 across the board, 2 across the board in the British Isles, 1 across the board in Japan, 1 across the board in Europe, 1 across the board in Oceania, and no popularity at all in India. If we take a look at the next step in the size categories, you have to get to medium. To get to medium, you have to achieve 59 in your home region of the tri-state area, plus 35 in either the Mid-Atlantic or New England region. So you're a 25 in New England, 16 in Mid-Atlantic. You're probably going to reach it in the New England area first. So you have to get that tri-state to 59 and New England to 35. It's doable, especially with, if we look here with your coverage, very small coverage all across the US and Canada. And that is going to come from your Wrestle World contract here. So you need a minimum quality of 20. You're getting 60% of the revenue. So it's not a bad deal. It's going to be something that you could potentially get to the medium. You could get it fairly quickly. Depends on what kind of quality of shows you put on. You take a look at your events. You have events like New Year Revolution, Highway to Hell, Steel City Starfest, Hardcore Revolution, Lockdown, Homecoming. This is your season finale event. So this is 6 months worth of shows, 6 shows basically, to build their storylines up and pay them off here. And you have Big Ass Brawl, Philly Heatwave, the Dave Birthday Bash, Battleground, Blood and Gore, and Endgame. It's pretty diverse events. You could throw Steel City Smash, your dormant off-air TV show, back on the air. Take a look at your product, and it's called Hardcore Redo. Basically extreme hardcore. It's hardcore wrestling with an emphasis on shock and awe. It is mostly about brawling, although other styles can thrive if they're good enough. This product tends to attract a very rabid fan base. Your heel and face divided is loosely enforced. You have stables, you have managers. You also have some special effects on your product. You have rabid fans will really get into high quality wrestling, and rabid fans are going to violently turn against poor wrestling. Fans are going to expect 85% matches, 15% angles on events, 75% matches, 25% angles on TV shows. Matches are going to be rated on a match quality versus popularity ratio of 40 to 60 and 60 to 40, depending on what gets the best rating. So popularity is going to be important to this product, but you're going to want some high quality wrestling to, keep those rabid fans happy. This hardcore style leads to a high level of general wear and tear on the bodies of the workers, and injuries are going to be very common. Fans are kind of open-minded. They'll accept any match type. The next two, sometimes this one confuses me sometimes, right? So it says matches less than 15 minutes will not be able to achieve world-class scores. Then it also says lengthy matches will tend to lose the audience. So you're going to probably want to keep those matches around 15 minutes. And if we start getting notes this wasn't either long enough in the eyes of the audience or too long, you have to adjust that. Fans are going to be put off by cheap endings like countouts, DQs, and sports entertainment finishes. Ultra dangerous setups like glass and explosives will be penalized. Fans expect to be ongoing storylines. Each show is going to need a hardcore match aim, a wild brawl match aim, and either a car crash or a mayhem match aim. The fan base is going to be very opinionated and will turn on workers they don't feel belong. Crazy bumps or stunt bumps will give boosts to segments. So it's not a hugely restrictive and hard product. It's one of the more unique products we've probably seen. So just keep these things in mind as you're booking and building your cards. I know when I was playing around with this, the AI was booking a lot of like matches that were like 3 or 4 minutes, things like that. I don't know if that would be something you would want to do, but leave those tips and tricks in the comments. I know Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling is a very popular company with the community. So please, guys, let me know what you did. What kind of storylines did you run? Did you run this kind of like a ECW? Or did you take it like Paul Heyman was planning to do with ECW and almost into a more like a Ring of Honor type, where there was a little bit more of extreme hardcore bent, but it was going to be leaning more towards that pure type wrestling of Ring of Honor in the beginning. While you're down there, guys, why don't you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel? It really does help the channel, and it lets YouTube know that the content I produce is content that needs to be pushed. Okay, if we filter the roster down to anybody that has a star quality of 70 or above, you don't have a ton of people here. You have people like Chip Martin, Cowboy Buck Winchester, Ernest Youngman, Jake Idle, Logan Wolfsbane, Rudy Velasquez, Saeed Ali, Vendetta, and Xavi Ferreira. So not a ton of star quality. Stars you do have are really good. Guys like Chip Martin, I like the way he looks. Those stats are pretty, awesome. Ernest Youngman has been a fan favorite for years in many different iterations of Total Extreme Wrestling. Same thing with Logan Wolfsbane. You have both these guys along with Xavi Ferreira. So you've got really good stars. You just don't have a ton of them. And unfortunately, to drive that point home, the top part of your card is basically Ernest Youngman and Logan Wolfsbane. Youngman is the main star of PSW. All the main major storylines revolve around him. Same thing with Logan Wolfsbane. These two guys are the top of your card. So that's going to be something you're going to want to address. You're going to want to either get people moved into that star and major star level to build the top of your card, or you're going to want to bring in some people from the outside that can fill those needs of building that top of the card. I know that PSW has lost quite a bit of people from that roster they had in 2020. So in those 2 short year jump, they lost quite a bit of workers, potentially to retirement and other companies, especially the biggest loss, Nelson Callum, where he went to CWA. That was a pretty big loss, but you guys, this has kind of had a lot of taken from the top of the card. We head down here into the mid card, and you have quite a bit of people here in the mid card. Really good workers, some of them. Acid 2, Austin Smooth, really liked Austin Smooth. Cerberus, Cowboy Buck Winchester, Death Wish, Devil Dog, Dumfrey Pin, Hector Galindo, Jackpot Jordan, Jake Idle, Jebediah, Jesus Chavez, Rhino Umaga, Rudy Velasquez, Samoan Machine, Saeed Ali, Stuntman, Teddy Powell, Wicked Lester, Xavi Ferreira, Xavier Reckless, and Zomboy. You have some people here that you could potentially push as stars. Guys like Austin Smooth. I like Cowboy Buck Winchester, Jackpot Jordan, Jake Idol. The Samoan Machine is a pretty decent. The only problem is he's 41. Rhino Umaga is 43. Stuntman is 29. Zomboy is a 24-year-old worker. So you have some people that could potentially move into that star and major star, but you may need to look at what's available on the free agent market, and also what some of the bigger companies potentially like let go and sign those more popular guys and bring them in to kind of almost add like a band-aid until you can get some people into that upper card and main event level. If we take a look at your unimportant level of perception, you got guys like Antics, who looks to be a pretty decent worker for being 39. Chip Martin, really like Chip Martin. Dustin Deuce, Calder Tag, Vendetta, and Wolfie Tag. Tags I really like as well. They have a pretty decent skill set, decent look. So I think the Tag brothers here have a potential of moving in up the card and the perception levels and becoming a bigger part of the company, I feel. We take a look at your stables. You have Penn Enterprises Limited. It's the corporation run by Dumfries Boss Penn. He originated the faction during his time in DIW, and it was such a success that he brought the concept with him when he moved to PSW. So you do have Dumfries Penn as the leader, Devil Dog, Calder Tag, Wolfie Tag, and then Cammy Lynn as support. You have the Latino Kings. They're the three students of the late Sean Gonzalez, who are known for their unbreakable bond and gang-related gimmick. They're the best known for their huge success in FCW, but since 2020 they have been with PSW, which is appropriate as they all broke into the business with Dave. So you have Hector Galindo, Jesus Chavez, and Rudy Velasquez. This is a very popular, especially with that Dave connection. They have some name value. They're not a major player, but you could potentially make them a major player with their connection to Dave. Legion of Blood is a 3-person cult. They describe themselves as a death cult and are the creepy hardcore group led by Wicked Lester. So along with Wicked Lester, you have Death Wish and Zomboy. So this is just a creepy type death cult that you can, potentially use. I really like Death Wish, Zomboy. Wicked Lester has some pretty decent stats. This is a pretty good stable. Then you have the Steel Circle. It was formed around Ernest Youngman in order to boost his profile. Steel Circle is just your classic heel faction. Originally, it was a 4-man group. Since Logan Wolfsbane turned babyface, it has gone down to just being the trio of Youngman and Rich and Famous. So you have Ernest Youngman as the leader, Jackpot Jordan, Jake Idol as members, and Venus Angeletti as basically their collective manager. We take a look at your titles. You have 3 of them. The PSW Championship, current prestige is 48. Current champion is Logan Wolfsbane. PSW Championship is one of the most prestigious titles outside of the big leagues, thanks to the fact that it's always had such a strong lineage of great former holders. So this reign for Logan Wolfsbane has been going back 197 days, 5 successful title defenses so far. And as you can see in the history, you have people like Ernest Youngman, Nelson Callum, Greg Black, Grandmaster Funk, Stephen Parker. There's a lot of good names that has held this title. The PSW National title, current prestige is 28. Current champion is Austin Smooth. Secondary title, the national belt is a staple of a mid-card. Generally, people don't get long runs with it. It's a useful stepping stone into the main event scene. This reign's been going on for 43 days. There's been one successful title defense so far. Austin Smooth is the current holder. You could potentially look at him getting pushed up into that main event scene. And I think he's good enough to be in that main event scene. You just got to start pushing him. You have the PSW tag team. Current prestige is 30. Current champions are Death Wish and Zomboy. Tag team titles took a long time to catch on with the fans because the tag division was quite weak at first. But in recent years, better teams have entered the company and the titles have become more respected. This title reign has been going on for 78 days. There's been one successful title defense. Take a look at your booking team. You would have your character. You also have Mitch Ness and Johnny Martin. But for the other three spots, you do have some pretty good choices here to add to the booking skill to get that CE up to allow you to do these types of finishes and ideas that just make the game kind of fun. Your inner circle, there's only 2 spots really filled. You have one locker room leader and Teddy Powell, and a chief enforcer in the Samoan Machine. The rest of these are kind of just open, and you could potentially put whoever you would like to in the specific role, possibly to build some loyalty and a relationship with them. We take a look at your storylines. You have to have 2 rated hot or above, and they are currently failing that. So you have to advance 1 storyline per show. Some of your storylines are All Hell is Breaking Loose, and this is what happens when 2 of the most reckless tag teams in PSW history clash over the tag team titles. All hell will break loose. You have Acid 2 Stuntman taking on Death Wish and Zomboy. It's just going to be a carnage-filled, chaos-filled feud over the tag team titles. Might be really fun to book. You have Easy Money versus Penn. Austin Smooth scored an upset win over Dumfries Penn in November to capture the PSW national title. Infuriated, Penn has now unleashed Penn Enterprises to help him get the belt back. So you basically have Austin Smooth against Penn Enterprises. Then you have Vicious Circle, which is the bitter war between Logan Wolfsbane and his former stablemates. The Steel Circle has reignited, with Ernest Youngman wanting his belt back in the worst possible way. So basically you just have Logan Wolfsbane involved with every member of the Steel Circle. This one is your only story right now that is very hot. The other 2 are cold or very cold. So you're going to want to try to bring these storylines up to hot so you won't be getting penalties anymore. And then potentially you can create a few more other storylines. Take a look at your teams. You have teams here like the Blood Soldiers, which are your champions. They have an experience of 44. Devil May Care, they're 58. Galindo and Chavez, 62 experience. Reckless Antics, 90 experience. Rich and Famous, 100 experience. Samoan Destruction Incorporated, 100 experience. The Hot Tags, 38. So pretty decent mix of experience and also some pretty good teams there. So the tag team division, I think, is in pretty good hands with these guys. You can potentially have pretty awesome feuds over that tag team belt with the teams you have here. We take a look at creative. Your franchise players are the 2 that we expect: Ernest Youngman, Logan Wolfsbane. This is the problem right now with Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling, is you only have those 2 guys at the top of the card. So Nick's Big Things, these are guys that could not only just be a star, but can carry the company in the future, and that's Javi Fiera and Zomboy. So 2 pretty decent choices of some people you would want to push in Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling. Some hot prospects. You also have Javi Fiera on this list and Zomboy, but Chip Martin's on this list. Vendetta's on this list. Death Wish is on this list. people who are going to become valuable members of Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling. So it's good to see you at least have 5 people that are going to become potential valuable members. I think there's more than that, but these are the top 5 guys who you want to be cutting your promos. Guys like Alex Braun, Dumfrey Penn, Ernest Youngman, Javi Farah, Jake Idle. Your showstoppers, guys who can take their performances to a whole new level when they need to. They can truly steal the show. Guys like Javi Farah, Rudy Velasquez, Ernest Youngman, Logan Wolfsbane, Jake Idle. Then your ring generals. These guys can be relied on to carry even the deadest of dead weight to a watchable match. Guys like Ernest Young, Rudy Velasquez, Teddy Powell, Logan Wolfsbane, Javi Fiera. A lot of these guys are showing up on multiple lists, so these guys are going to be like Javi and Logan and Ernest, even Rudy, are going to be pretty decent, awesome workers for you. Guys you're going to want to kind of base the card around. You do have 5 guys here who are considered hot. They have momentum on their side right now. Thankfully, nobody that has cold or has a lack of momentum currently. You're not going to have any kind of child company. You're not going to have a development. You're not even going to have training facilities right now. With 125,000 available, you need to be careful with that in the beginning and make sure that you're not losing a ton of money. So you want to probably sign some guys that could potentially be part of that main event, upper mid card. Maybe bring some guys who are former Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling workers, or even bring in guys who have that Dave connection. They're going to probably be older, but having that connection, I think, will, at least story-wise, the game may not actually give you any advantage, but story-wise, it would be pretty cool to bring those guys back in to this, that what is considered the Dave, successor. So you could potentially join the COTT Alliance and then borrow wrestlers from these 4 companies. You could do that. You could take that route, and I don't think it would be cheating. You can obviously are eligible to join the Alliance, so that would be something you could obviously consider. And it would potentially help you get some guys who are more popular in the area you're at, and it help you with that lack of quantity, not quality, quantity at the top of your card. Relationship wise, you have a friendly attitude with Freedom Caribbean Wrestling. You have a talent trading agreement. You already have a positive relationship with Invincible Pro Wrestling and New York City Wrestling. So 2 members of the COTT Alliance you have good relationships with. Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling has quite a bit of potential to be a pretty fun save, especially if you like booking those extreme hardcore types of products and types of companies. So this is a very potential fun save, and I hope that seeing this has given you guys some great ideas on what you would do and some potential storylines, potential signings, what direction that you would like to take Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This has been another trip in the journey through the Seaverse, this time with Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling. I'm Last Son. Keep playing, guys. Stay awesome and have a wonderful day. I'll see you in our next video.